about entrepreneurship. The reason I do this is because I love entrepreneurship. The one word with which I could describe entrepreneurship is freedom. Freedom is such a beautiful word. How many of you have seen the movie Braveheart in Mel Gibson, in which, in the end, he's almost in tears and he says, like, freedom! Every morning I wake up like that. The best thing about entrepreneurship is being freedom. I'm free to do what I want. I'm free to do with who I want to do it with, where I want to do it, in fact, what I want to wear while I'm doing it. Being in entrepreneurship, you're not under anyone's control. You're free to do what you want. That's why I believe entrepreneurship is the best way to do business. You can do what you want, you're free to do what you want, wherever you want to do it, whenever you want to do it. No timing, no job skills required. Anything you want to do, you can do it. I started at the age of 13. I didn't start off as an entrepreneurship. I started off as a normal developer, like most of you guys are engineers. I started off as making iPhone applications, and then I went on to develop Android applications. Gradually, I went on to start a couple of ventures using web technologies. And recently, I launched 2 startups, and then I got recognized by Google for it. So, being in entrepreneurship is all about ideas. As in the sale of a fashion designer deals in the trade of clothes, builder deals in trade of buildings. Similarly, entrepreneurship is dealing in ideas. Entrepreneurship is all about ideas, how you work with ideas. For example, let's say, how many of you already have ideas here about entrepreneurship? Okay, so all of you guys stand up and first give a huge round of applause to yourself. Okay, now keep on standing. Don't sit down. Keep on standing, because these people already are multi-millionaires. I'm telling you guys, these are multi-millionaires already in your presence. You know what an asset is? An asset is something that's intangible, tangible, that is of value but isn't used right now. Similarly, your ideas are assets in itself. For example, they are not being used. That's what you do. You're not using your ideas. That's the difference between being you and being an entrepreneurship. Being an entrepreneur, because you're not using your ideas. These ideas are assets that are worth millions of dollars. If you've just not cashed it out. For example, now you can sit down, by the way. For example, how you buy a house and you build on it, you depreciate the value, increase the value, decrease the value. Similarly, how you have an idea, you build on it, that's how the value goes up, and that's how you cash it in. So similarly, all of you guys who already have ideas are already $1 million richer, but you haven't just cashed it in. You just have to work in your ideas to cash in the money, that's all. That's the difference between working as an entrepreneur and working as what you're doing right now. All it takes is a passion. How do you recognize your passion? See, there are a lot of interests, and there's something that's called interest. You may have a lot of interest, but there's something than passion. Passion is something which you are like very, very deep interest. You cannot mix passion and interest together. For example, you wouldn't go up to a girl and say, hey, let's get married, I'm interested in you, right? You would have a passion for the girl, only then will you get married to her, right? So there's a difference there. Passion is something that you really, really, really care about. You will give anything for that. Interest is something that you like doing. So first be clear, what is your passion, what is your interest? A lot of people come up to me with something like, this is my passion, I do this, I want to do this, I want to build an idea on that. But then that's not your passion. You're just talking about an interest of yours. You may have another interest of the same level interest, different fields. So you got to define your passion first of all. When you're done with your passion, you got to give it all. Give everything you have in your idea, in your passion, and then you can build on that. If you give 99%, it won't work. So believe me, seriously. There are so many people here with ideas, and if every one of them gives 99%, none of them will work. But if one gives 100%, that's how we get. Why there are so many entrepreneurs, but only a very few successful exist? Because these successful ones give 100%. That's the difference between a successful and a normal entrepreneur. Then you're going to come up with the topic, start small. Some people already have big dreams. That's okay. There's no fault in having big dreams. But then you got to think about starting small, because nothing goes on to top from start. You got to start small. I started very small, in fact. When I started, I didn't have any recognition. I didn't get any users for my products. But gradually, after 5 years, this is where I am. It took 5 years. So I started small, but you got to start small. Right now, you're universities. So you're not going to lose anything. There's nothing to lose. Believe me, you can start anything you want right now, and what will you lose? You come back to university, most probably. What are you going to lose? What else you'd have to lose? Is someone here who's going to lose a lot? Come on, stand up and tell me. Is any one of you going to lose a lot if you start an idea right now? What is there going to lose? Okay, no one. So that here we can see no one's. Okay, you have something? Okay, no one. Okay. Academics, see, this time management. Tell me, how many times do you party a week?
When I started in my business, the thing that I was losing on was my CGPA.
Okay.
And today, if I lose on my CGPA, then though, you know, if I start with a very small thing right now, I'm not sure I'll be a big thing in that thing or not. So I have to secure something at my back, and that is my degree, that is my CGPA on my degree. So I came back to my university, and I'm focusing on my CGPA and trying to improve that.
That's a very good idea. That's very understandable. In fact, I go to school from morning 8 o'clock to 4 p.m. How long do you have class? I suppose same time? Not longer than that, probably.
Sometimes 8 to 6.
Yeah, okay. So time is okay. So that's understandable. But then you still have a lot of time after that. It depends on how you use that time you have, which you are spending on different things.
It also depends upon the type of business that we're doing.
Yeah, that's also very, very understandable. If you're into something that's intensive and time consuming, then you have to think about your priorities. Then there's another factor that comes into play. But why most of the people don't work on the idea is the fact that they don't want to work for it. They start making excuses. You gotta find reasons and not excuses why you can work with it. There's always some possibilities, guys. You can always find time. If you have a passion for it and if you're giving it your 100%, I'm pretty sure there's no way you cannot not find time for it.
We can succeed in that. I'm not saying that my business will suffer, but the thing is, my basic sense that why I'm sent to university, my parents would question, the CGPA is falling down, shut down your business. My business was growing, it was growing day by day, but the thing was my CGPA, my marks, my academics, my attendance.
So you can take a break for about some time. Come back after. You're going to lose your marks, right? You're going to lose some time. Right till you're young, you have a whole life in front of you. Even if you lose a small time in your college, you can come back and build on that marks again, right? If you look at it that way, if you have a passion, you could always give it 6 months. After 5 months, you see it's not working out, come back and repeat 6 months. See, you have a long life in front of you right now. How old are you? 20. People start at 50 being entrepreneurs. People start at 55 being entrepreneurs. In the morning, we see the HR power. How old that man? He was a major when he started being an entrepreneur. You are still 20. Think about that. Even if you fall back, that guy almost gave up a job of such a high salary to become an entrepreneur. So you're going to see it that way. You have a lot of time. You're not losing that much. Right now, you have the advantage that you're young. And that's what you're going to use. You're going to use it to your own benefit. Entrepreneurship basically is what the world needs right now. Ideas, a lot of ideas. Entrepreneurs, you know what entrepreneurs do? They take ideas, they take money from different people, ideas from different people, and build on that and make it into multi-million-dollar real businesses worth something. That's what entrepreneurship is right now. Taking ideas from different people and building on that. What most people fail to do is they fail to build on it. They don't trust it enough. They start making excuses. That's how people fail, making excuses. Lots of people see Steve Jobs talk about how he built Apple and how he built Apple. They've seen the same video again and again, read his biographies again and again. Everyone thinks, I'm going to do this one day, I'm going to do this one day. But no one does it. Why not? Did Steve Jobs have anything extra that you did not have? They think he's such a professional, he's a genius, I'm not a genius. That's not how it was. If you read Steve Jobs' biographies in depth and read what he said, at that point of time he was not a genius. In fact, he was kicked out of his own company. People kicked him out. But that's not, he had a passion for it. He loved it, he gave it 100%, and then that's why we have Apple as the most valuable company in the world. So that's what I'm just trying to say here. Entrepreneurship is all about giving your best to your passion, recognizing your passion, giving your best to it, and that's all it is. So what questions do you guys have? Any questions? Okay.
What are your future plans? What are you planning to do next?
See, I'm personally an opportunist. So any opportunities that come by, I just pick them up. So apart from that, my future plans are obviously I'm going to build on my ventures, which I'm already working on right now. And being an entrepreneur, I also get a lot of ideas. So I contribute as much as I can to different ideas, even if they're not my ideas, and if I see there's potential in that, I give my best to it. But apart from that, right now, like you guys, after 12th, I'm probably going to go into university to study and build on my skills. Though from what I see, I can learn better without school and universities than which I can work through schools and universities, because schools work at a fixed pace. Though there's always a requirement of a degree, as we say in Indian, we need a degree to basically get some job or something. Personally, I don't really find that interesting enough. I don't find that aspect of getting a degree interesting enough. I find that you learn more. From what I've seen, I learned everything online. Google, if you search just for something, you can learn everything online. There are free courses available for everything, possibly everything. The best universities, Harvard, MIT, have their courses online for studying, if you want to study. There's no course that's not available for free.
Then is it more about the attitude and or about having an idea? Entrepreneurship, is it more about having an idea or more about your attitude towards doing something for any idea?
See, the one can't work without the other. You can be an entrepreneur but without an idea, but then you will not really be an entrepreneur because you won't be working with your own idea. With that attitude, you could work with someone else's company and probably make that successful. Then you would call that kind of a CEO, one who handles everything. But you are an entrepreneur when you have your own idea, and with that attitude, you work on that idea. That's when you would call yourself an entrepreneur. Any more questions? No more questions, guys? Come on.
So could you please tell us about yourself? How have you begun all this?
Okay, how I began. I usually don't like this part of the story.
Yeah.
I began when I was 13 years old. I started the technology blog. I used to create news from globally. I took the best technology and put it on my blog. So one day I was showing my friend my blog and on a mobile phone, and it wasn't looking good. So at that point of time, the iPhone had just launched, and I wanted to show my blog to him, and then I thought I need a mobile application for the blog because it's not looking good on the blog. Either I could hire a developer for $100,000, the iPhone just launched, developers were very, very less in numbers and charging very high fees, or I could build it myself. There were two ways I could go. So probably at that point of time, I didn't know I was already an entrepreneur. I realized that I could go online and learn and do it, because entrepreneurs usually tend to be resourceful. They don't spend that much and try to take the least expensive way possible. So I went online. I learned how to make your own iPhone application. I spent about over 6 months learning. I didn't have anything else to do. See, basically, if you go online, I'm pretty sure any one of you can learn anything you want. There's nothing that's not taught online. I just learned online. From there, I developed my first application for a blog. Then at the Delhi Metro just came into play, and I made an application for Delhi Metro, which became #1, got recognized by Apple, because there was no other Delhi Metro application, and there were 10 million people using the metro every day. From there I went on, I learned a lot about that, so I went on to Android, and from there Google recognized me for my efforts. Then after Google, I started a couple of web ventures, and I started a couple of startups using online technologies. I started Study Social, I started Geek Starter, and I started a couple more startups online, and then here I am.
So in the six month span, there are times when you feel like it's not working.
Yeah.
So how did you handle that?
When you feel like it's not working, what you see there is that one time out of 6 months, other times you must be feeling it's working, right? That's why you're giving it your best. You can't let one small time, a couple of few small times, it's not working, let's forget it, demean you. Haven't you read the persistence, the quality inside an entrepreneur? Even if you fail 10 times, you've got to get up the next time and start working again. You've got to have that in you. If you want to be a successful entrepreneur, you've got to be sure of yourself. If you see it's going to fail, then you get up again and start working on it again, making it better than it's before. You've got to have that quality inside you. That's what defines an entrepreneur.
So what's your ultimate goal?
Ultimate goal, what you would say? For example, I'm not thinking that much in long term, because right now I don't need to think long term, but I would say I don't have a kind of an ultimate goal. What ultimate goal do you have?
I'm even deciding. I'm even deciding.
Yeah, so that's what. See, even if I decide an ultimate goal, a long-term goal, I'm going to focus on my efforts that instead of I want to show short-term goals, what I can work right now. In a company, it's required that you have a long-term goal, but short-term goals ultimately make into a long-term goal itself. Any more questions, guys? That's it then. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Do I have to mention his age? Go ahead.
Okay, first of all, where did you hear that from? Because it's still in beta, it's not public.
If you want.
I read on your website that.
Okay, yeah, I made a blog post about it, I remember, yeah. So, Honest is basically Startup Weekend. Have you heard of it? Startup Weekend is it's like a competition kind of, not really a competition. It's like a week, 54-hour event in which about 150 entrepreneurs come together, and it happens in fact all over India, in different cities: Bangalore, Ahmedabad, Chennai, Delhi, Mumbai. It happens all over India, or it's all over the world in fact. So it's a 54-hour event in which you start Friday morning, and by Sunday evening you're going to have a company start up. But people pitch their ideas, then 15 ideas selected, a group of 5 to 6 entrepreneurs start working on that idea and building it within 54 hours. And the best idea gets selected and is then funded by the Startup Weekend organizers. So my Honest was the idea that I gave in Startup Weekend Delhi Mobile last September. So the idea was that Honest is about awesomifying honesty. You see, in India, what I've seen is a lot of corruption happening everywhere. People are not scared to come up and talk about it, because they think if they say that, probably the guy who's been corrupt can get them killed or something, or hurt them in a way which he doesn't want. So that's why people don't talk about the corruption. They don't talk, even if they know something's happening and they're who's doing it, they won't say it. They won't blame the person because they're scared. So awesomifying honesty. Honest is a platform that me and my team built that would let people report corruption anonymously through their mobiles. This is mobile Startup Weekend, so we had to build a mobile application. So we built an honest mobile application that would let people report corruption cases anonymously. The plan has changed a bit now. It's more a B2B, business to business idea where you can report corruption on other businesses and we can credit ratings to businesses. We're still in beta right now because we're still developing it as much as we can. I think all of you guys, if you're looking into being an entrepreneur, should go and try Startup Weekend. This is an amazing platform for you to try your skills and see how you really work as an entrepreneur. Startup Weekend. Go around. Thank you. Any more questions though? Okay, then. Thank you guys.
Thank you, Ivan. That was super. Thank you, Ivan.